My name is Karin Aguirre. I'm a wife of one, a mother of two, a creative chaos blogger, a crafter, a teacher, an Etsy shopkeeper, also a cancer survivor. I'm the Lucy Ricardo of all my friends. And I'm this month's guest designer on Cropped. This is my studio. This is where it all happens. This is my refuge in a land of all boys, everything all boy. So I have all the things that I need to make everything I want. I have the all-important glitter, I have ribbons, I have my flowers, and I can't live without this, my vintage wallpaper. Love, love, love it. Try to use it in everything that I do. Last month, Cropped had a giveaway contest for SeeHere.com photo book giveaway. One of the producers, who happens to read my blog, contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do some embellishing to the front of the book or come up with an idea to make it a little bit prettier. So, just so happens I love these books. I've done one for my sons, I've done one for my husband. They're a lot of fun, but they're a little plain. So I think we need to jazz these up a little bit more. Came up with an idea as soon as I saw the baby to do a holiday baby book so that the outside will look as perfect as the inside. So this is the book that we're going to use to embellish. It's a little bit different from the bigger one, so we just need to incorporate some different elements into this. But the overall look will be the same. One of the ideas that I had for the holiday photo book was because of this baby, and so I wanted to do a baby's first Christmas. And what we're going to do is go ahead and take the same elements that I had on this book and just transfer them to this book. So what I did is, because it was such a big, large area, I wanted to break it up into three separate areas. I have the top portion here, which is the paper that was kind of my inspiration for this whole project, which was the little colored snowflakes. But what I did was I brought the pink out of those snowflakes and used this pattern on the bottom. And then to break the two up and give it some interest, I put the green border pattern, which is actually the flip side of this paper. So then the next step is to go towards the center. And in the center I used vintage music paper, and I had a snowflake, which I love these snowflakes. And you can get these at any craft store, dollar store, anything like that. They're very inexpensive. And then I just layered it with some crepe paper and some folded paper and a real glittery star. And then the next step is just to kind of take a look where you want to embellish. This is where you can go crazy or you can hold back. I did a little in the middle. I have some velvet ribbon, a little bit of tinsel, some pom-pom, and then I just gave this side border here for the velvet ribbon and some silk ribbons. Added Baby's First Christmas, and this was just printed up on the computer and then edged in some gold. You can put a name there, or Baby's Second Christmas, and then just added two little crystals. Believe it or not, this is all you're going to need to make this project. It's really a super simple project. However, when you get done, your friends and family will look at you and tell you how gorgeous it is, and they can't believe that you did it. But these are the only things you're going to need. You're going to have your paper, which is right here. I have vintage book music paper, but you don't have to use vintage. You can use whatever music sheet paper that you have. We have our ribbons and pom-poms, a couple pieces of tinsel, silver tinsel, a silver star, and the snowflake. The crepe paper flower, although it looks complicated, is really easy to make. Let me show you how. To make the crepe paper flower, I usually measure it around 28 inches. Because I know that this is 14 inches here, I just go ahead and do two measurements of my sewing machine. And that way, once I pull the flower together, I'll have a perfect circle where I can just trim off the little ends. So what we do in order to do it is I put it into the sewing machine, and it's just about a half an inch or so away from the edge, and I go ahead and sew a basting stitch all the way up. Once you have your basting stitch, you take one of the threads and then you pull down on the thread and just pull your crepe paper into gathers. And what will happen is, as you form it it will naturally make a circle forming your crepe paper flower. If you don't have a sewing machine, don't worry about it. What you can do is just go ahead and do a basting stitch within it. All you need to do is just fold your crepe paper into folds, do a stitch through there, and then you can form a flower that way. To get started, what we're going to do is we're going to take our top piece of paper that's going to be on the book. To make it as simple as possible, we're just going to go ahead and measure the paper with the outline of the book. That way you don't need any special measuring tools or anything like that. So just kind of fix it where you want it. You can even tack it down with a little piece of two-sided tape. Flip your book over and go ahead and make your measurement to about half of the book. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this piece out so that we can apply it to the top of our book. So at this point, I've already cut my paper down to the size I need. I have this size right here, and as well as my bottom piece right here. Again, it's up to you how much you want. You may want more of this paper or you may want more of that, but just keep in mind we're going to be doing the middle band on either side of the picture. Speaking of which, since we have the picture in the middle, we're going to need to cut this portion out of both sides. You don't need to worry about the edges because we're going to be putting our tinsel that we have here, we're incorporating it around our picture here. And that way, if it doesn't come out all even, we can just put the tinsel around the edges. So at this point, what I've done is I just tacked my paper down because we still have to cut the photo part out. Once we have our papers tacked on, I just go ahead and I open the book and then I trace out where the hole is. I just flip my paper back over and take it back up and cut it out. And you can use an X-Acto knife to cut it out. What I use is just a pair of scissors at this point. You want to go ahead and you glue your pieces down to the photo book, and you can use any kind of adhesive that you're comfortable with, that you like to use. I personally use a glue stick. So what I do is I go ahead and get it glued down, really paying attention to the edges, although you can always go back and fill in where you may have missed. But you just want to have a nice, good adhesive so that your paper isn't going to peel back up or fall off. So once you get that, then you go ahead and you place it on your cover and then just center it to where you want. With the glue stick, you have a little bit of a play there, so you don't